promise I am not trying to be one of those people to put more items in your house to manage. But the fact remains that there's a few things that actually might make your homeschool days a little easier, and they're kind of unconventional. Well, hey guys, my name is Brianna. Welcome to Simple Joys Homeschool, and today I have something a little unconventional. Like I said, I've got a list of 10 things that make my homeschool run a little bit smoother every day, but they're not quite what you would expect, and none of them are curriculum. All right, so first up is an essential for me, but maybe not for everybody, and that's a home library. So it's absolutely encouraged, accepted to use your public library. They are a wealth of information. They have so many titles, more than you could ever own yourself. But for us, because we have such an importance on having books readily available, having a print-rich environment, these are things that are super important to the way that we homeschool, the way that my children learn. It's just crucial for us to have our own supply of books. But I'm very careful about the ones that we have. They have to be very good quality. They have to have great content. There's no potty language. There's no crazy stuff. I don't even know. Use your own filter, right? And they're books that we go back to year after year. So since we pay attention to the seasonal learning and what kind of each month evokes in our homeschool, especially for the subjects that we do together, I have one whole, currently they're in boxes because my house is a construction zone. Eventually it'll be shelved, but for now I have one whole banker box full of just seasonal picture books that I rotate every single year, that I've been doing since my first child was born, basically, right? October is always pumpkins, and September is always apples, and March is always rainbows, right? There's just these themes that we always think of throughout the year, and I have this collection of picture books that just evokes the feel of that season or of that month. But it's also really great to have resource books on hand and to have chapter books at all the different levels, so that anytime the occasion arises, whether that's researching something new that you heard about, or you realize that your kid is into a new genre of literature, or they're just freaking bored out of their mind and they just need something to look at, you have the options available. Now, if you don't have the space or the budget or the desire to have your own home library, absolutely use your public library and stock your house with a wide variety of titles, from nonfiction to fiction to biographies to anthologies to chapter books and picture books and comic books and all the types of books that you could possibly think of. I promise you, you will never regret having books on hand. Number 2 on my list is something that's actually outside instead of inside, but it helps my days go so much smoother, and that is the black horse winner of all toys, and that is a wiggle car. I don't know if you've ever heard of these. I hadn't until one of our neighbors had them a few years ago, and of course then I ultimately ordered 3 for Christmas for all of my daughters, and they're these little car-ish things. I don't even know if you can call it a car. It has a steering wheel. They have wheels on them, but you sit your bum down on them and you put your feet up on them and you rock your arms back and forth to propel you forwards or backwards or in circles. It sounds crazy, and they are loud as all get out, so that's kind of annoying. But they use your full body to exercise and move around. My daughters will play cops and robbers and horseback riding and chase, and they'll race like they're cars, or I don't know, they come up with all sorts of crazy things with them, but it keeps them occupied and moving for long periods of time, which is a saving grace to all moms the world over. All right, number 3, another kind of unconventional thing that to me really does help our days run smoother because it's for my own sanity, is a candle. And I know this sounds crazy. No, it's not going to help you get your math lesson done. And no, it's not going to help you to keep them from yelling. But what it does do is that it sets the tone for the day. It's a ritual that you can start all of your days off with your group time, basket time, table time, however you start your day. The ritual of lighting it, the subtle smell of it, it just does something to bring everyone into that zone, and it relaxes me. And I'm a little picky with my candles. I'm the one that's, super smell sensitive, and if I buy a Better Homes and Garden candle from Walmart, instant headache the second I light it, right? I just can't do it. I can't do the wall plug-ins, anything like that. But what I have found is that I just tried this brand because I was influenced. It's fine. Antique Candle Co. I've seen a lot of moms out there talking about it. They don't give me a headache though. So I kind of get what the hype is about. It smells amazing from the second you open it to the very end of the burn. It's clean ingredients. Again, doesn't give someone with sensitivities a headache. And bonus points, they have a monthly subscription, which is what I signed up for, where the candle scent is aligned with that month of the year, which, goes perfectly with how we choose to homeschool, where everything is aligned to the month and the season. So it was just too good to be true, and I had to do it. Not associated with them, nothing like that. Honestly, I just bought it and I love it. Number 4, not as unconventional, but it is in a way, and that's a planner, but not just any planner. I make my own planners because I have to be extra like that. But I've been making my own planners since 2011. So this is my one this year. I made it all pretty and everything. And I'm a pen to paper gal. I can't do the whole digital thing. I can't just write down random post-it notes. It just doesn't work. I need a physical planner that is set up exactly how I need it, and I am so picky about this because I've been having to make my own for so many years now. So when I was a teacher, I never bought the pre-made teacher planners because they didn't work for me. I taught first grade. I didn't teach 6 subjects, which is how most of them are aligned. I needed my spelling list to be on there, and I needed how many days we've been in school, plus the date, plus the day of the week, plus who the line leader is, and what theme we're on, and what math concept we're supposed to be on, and it was a lot, and I needed a lot of different boxes. So I made it exactly how I needed it, a week at a glance, easy to use. Well, fast forward to my homeschooling days, I was running into the same problem. These generic planners you would buy from a big box store, it wasn't geared towards homeschool, so it would have a weird layout or not enough space for me to write on, or the lines were too dark and it was too busy on the page. Or I would look for a homeschool specific planner and it would be so detailed, but there were so many pages that I didn't need. I don't need to track attendance for my state. I don't need to plan out field trips because if we want to go, we just go. So while all these pages are great and work for some moms out there, they just didn't work for me, and I hated having wasted pages because I can't just, rip it out and move on with life. It was just weird for me. So I have always just made my own, and I've had lots of different formats throughout the years, and again, like I said, this one by far is my favorite so far, but also I reinvent the wheel every single year, so who knows? There's no such thing as a perfect planner, but find a planner that works for you. It'll save your butt. All right, number 5 on my list is an art trough. I don't even know if that's the correct name for it, but it's what I'm calling mine. It's basically that long divided tray that you can put on your dining room table, and it has compartments for all of the various supplies. So I can have pencils and crayons and markers and thin markers and matte pencils and scissors and glue, and I can just divide it out to my heart's content, and everyone knows where the items go. They know that they can grab whatever they need at any given point. There's no fighting over supplies. It is a community-based selection process. First come, first serve. Use what you want, leave what you don't. Makes for a peaceful day, which the less fighting in a homeschool day, the better. I got mine from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. It was on sale. It's wooden and stained, that way it doesn't show any pencil marks. But in the past, I've used little metal canisters with a handle, kind of more of a farmhouse look to it. I didn't like those because it was noisy and you could see all the scratch marks on it. But, you do you. I've also used a Lazy Susan before where you can spin it around, but that works a little better for a circle table. We have a rectangle table, so trough it is. All right. This might be the strangest item that I have. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. This dude's heavy. It is a coil binding machine is the official name of this bad boy. It was not cheap, but I have gotten my money's worth out of it over the years, and so have my parents and neighbors and friends who have all borrowed it. Like you saw on my planner, I spiral bind things. When I print off curriculum that's a PDF from online that I purchased, or if I'm making my own material, it's just so easy to coil bind this and wrap it up, have it be compact. I have the clear page and the thick back page on it as well, so that it's nice and sturdy. I don't have to send things off to office supply stores, Staples, what have you. I have it here. I can do it in an instant. I print it off, I bind it, I'm ready to go. I'm not a fan of binders because I feel like they're clunky and they're not as pretty, and when you write, the snap in the middle, it gets in the way, and then you can't, like, your handwriting gets weird, and I don't like that. So spiral binding, I can lay it flat, I can turn it over, it's easy to pack, it doesn't take up too much space in a backpack or a bag. It's just the right thing. Number 7 in my unconventional list of homeschool supplies that will save your sanity is snacks. So I don't know if it's just my kids, if it's homeschool kids in general, or if it's just children in general, but oh my God, they're always hungry. Always. Having a very wide variety of snacks on hand, especially snacks that come in bulk, like from Costco, is a major sanity saver, because you can get the cheap ones, you can get the bougie ones, it doesn't matter. They have everything at Costco, right? They can just snack to their heart's content, and it's packaged, but you know what? You win some, you lose some. Don't be fine. Number 8 on my list is kind of one that's hard to show, but I'm sure you know what I mean as soon as I explain it. And that is having designated spots for each of my kids. So like you might know, I have 3 daughters, and they are 3 years apart, which means we get to share a lot of things, but it also means that there's constant competition for space, for time, for energy, for noise. There's just competition for everything. I'm an only child. I don't understand it, but apparently it's a thing. So having things on hand, like these magazine holders where each child can have their own, and that's where I put their notebook, their spiral, their folder, their flashcards. Dear God, these children are possessive. Has been a lifesaver. Other ways that I divide their space is by having a basket in their room for their own dolls and stuffed animals, or I have their own laundry basket, or in my cubby system by my work area, each one has a designated cubby. That way they know where their supplies are. They can put their own things away. I know what shelf I'm grabbing from. I'm not scrambling going, Johnny, where's your notebook? So everyone having their own designated spaces, whether that's a 3-drawer, cheap Sterilite system, or like a magazine holder, saves my sanity. All right, so as you may or may not know, we're kind of a lowish tech family, but the last 2 items on my list are, I guess, technically tech. Not really. Not really. Like, let's face both of them you plug into the wall, right? It's not fancy tech. Don't think I've crossed the dark side here. Number 9 is a mug warmer. Okay, a few years back, it was a big thing about not using your microwave and putting cleaning supplies in there so that you're not tempted to heat up your food and eat radiation, right? I don't know. People are being crazy. I try not to use it because it does kind of creep me out, but also I'm fine using it. Your own judgment, whatever. There was also kind of this ongoing running joke about how moms always drink cold coffee because they are so busy that their coffee goes cold by the time they can drink it. And it's not a hot cup. But then, oh God, I can't heat it up in the microwave because of the radiation. So what is the girl to do? You use a mug warmer, right? No one talks about this. So underestimated. Mine looks like an electric guitar. Pretty sure it was a trade gift at Christmas from my dad, who's a musician, but it works and it's cute. So this is my mug warmer. And number 10, not rocket science or anything like that. I'm sure you've had a million in your lifetime, is a Bluetooth radio. We upgraded ours a couple of years ago to this one that looks like a fun little antique radio. It's a Victrola brand, so it's a little bit better sound quality than other speakers that I've tried in the past. This one is intended to be used inside because it has a plug. It's not a portable one, which I wasn't enjoying the sound quality out of the portable one, so we decided to upgrade to one that was a little bit better. This one actually does play the radio and Bluetooth for when my kids beg me to play Elizabeth Mitchell, which is daily. Okay, so that was my top 10 sanity saving items for your homeschool that are not curriculum. A little unconventional, a little weird, I know, but I'm a little weird, so it's fine. But I have a bonus one for you. And this one, I don't know that it necessarily has to do with homeschool, but in my mind, if there's something that makes mom's life easier for managing all of the chaos, then it counts as a homeschool helper, right? Because then you're less focused on putting out fires and more focused on actually teaching and spending time with your children. My last item are these miracle little patches called Quitch, like quit the itch, get it? I haven't heard anybody talking about these ever, but they're amazing. Okay, so one of my daughters is allergic to latex, so we have to buy the more expensive welly bandages. They're cute, they don't leave a red mark, they're great, but they're a little expensive, and I don't want to be using them on mosquito bites, especially when two of my daughters are like mosquito magnets and have huge reactions to them. So in comes this hero, where you can buy a big variety pack of sizes, and I stick these things in my purse, in my car, in my kids' fanny packs, in the medicine cabinet. They go everywhere with me. I have used these on well-assuming strangers who are complaining about their mosquito bites. I'm like, oh wait, let me mom you real quick. But they work. I don't know, there's one ingredient that I can't even pronounce, and then aloe and witch hazel. So pretty simple, but it works. I had a cluster of 3 on my foot the other day, put them on, instant relief. If you have not gotten these, please, these will save your life. All right, guys, well, those are all of the items that I think are going to make your homeschool days easier and more enjoyable. A little out there, not quite expected, but yet I can't live without these. And I genuinely use these products, if not daily, definitely weekly. They are not a waste of my money. They have not been a regret at all. I will continue to buy these things year after year if I need to replace them. They are essential to my homeschool and to my own mom sanity. So I hope that these have helped you in some way. And I'd love to know, what are your weird, unique items that you cannot live without, that no one would expect, but you're like, oh my gosh, this is the thing that will save your life. I want to know all about it. Tell me down in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you around the next time.